So Frank, obviously the Fury AJ negotiations, they all have a knock-on effect on Joe Joyce, who's out there looking for his fight as well. How much of his situation do we know basically go now? Like where should he look to be heading next?
Well, look, obviously he's very frustrated. The WBO said that him and Usyk would have to go put it out for an interim title fight based upon Tyson fighting Anthony Joshua. Now, if that fight doesn't happen, then they will order AJ to defend his title against Usyk. And if that happens, then obviously Joe will not be fighting for the interim, but will become the mandatory challenger to the winner of Usyk and AJ. So that's his position. He's obviously very frustrated, but he knows what it is. That's the position he asked to be in. We worked very hard to get him into that number 2 spot, which basically makes him a mandatory challenger, or an interim champion if he beats Usyk. So he's in a good spot, but he needs to be active. He needs another fight. He's been in the ring now for nearly 6 months.
Yeah, so we saw you backstage with him at the Sonny Edwards fight. He was giving you a bit of grief about Dubois coming straight in at the number 2 shot, but it all seemed very sort of lighthearted and everything. And at least he's eager to fight.
Well, what I said to you is what I said to him, Rob. I told him exactly what I just said to you, and I said, "How can you complain? You've got in that spot. I mean, you weren't in that spot before you fought Daniel Dubois, and Daniel, obviously, we've got to move on with him and make fights for him as well. He's promoted by us, and he's fighting on the 5th of June in a tough fight for the WBA interim title. But Joe, I think, will be out hopefully in the next 8 weeks, one way or another, hopefully against Usyk, or if not, against another opponent.
You mentioned Daniel Dubois there fighting on the 5th of June. Dubois has obviously had a few changes in his camp since the Joe Joyce fight. How's he? Obviously, you've spoken to him a few times. How's he doing ahead of that?
Well, he's changed his trainer again. He had one session with Mark, and they decided that they would part company, which is what they've done. He's now with Shane McGuigan. And I spoke with him last night, and he's had 2 sessions with Shane, and he says he's enjoying it.
Yeah, Shane is very, very well-respected trainer about, the way he's brought fighters on. Is it just that Dubois needed a few new skills and he's such a young man, isn't he? Is it just that he needs a few new perspectives to change his game?
Look, Shane, as you quite rightly said, is a very well-respected trainer. But Martin Bauer's done a tremendous job with him. He was 15-0 going into that fight, and he was winning the fight on the cards till it got stopped. Until he pulled out the fight. So, but he felt he needed a change, and that's at the end of the day, that was his choice. That's what he decided. Martin remains his manager and his advisor, his brother Tony. So they are, they're still in the managerial position, and they've done a fantastic job as managers too for him. So we hopefully move forward. He's got 3 weeks away from the probably biggest fight now of his career. Big comeback fight. All eyes are going to be on him, especially the way how controversially the fight ended against Joe. And we'll see where we go from there.